Fault lines, quota quake, and a tough tightrope walk of a nation with population of 171 million people. Bangladesh witnessed a running street battle between security forces with rubber bullets and students drenched in blood. Thousands of students were protesting across Bangladesh against a court order reinstating a 30% quota to families of war veterans. The deadliest protest signified a deeper political and economic problems. However, in light of this shortfall, another quake jolted India's neighbour, a faux pas by Bangladesh's PM Sheikh Hasina and her trip to China. Was Bangladesh protest a result of Sheikh Hasina's China visit, or deep-set sinister plot? Bangladesh's mass student protest against job quotas has now morphed into an uprising against Sheikh Hasina's 15-year rule. What began as demonstrations against quotas quickly snowballed into one of the worst unrests in Bangladesh. A curfew was imposed, soldiers were deployed, nationwide internet blackout, more than 2,500 were people arrested, and at least 174 people, including several police officers, died in the unrest. A leader who is among the world's longest-serving female heads of government cracked down rained carnage on Bangladesh. Hasina has fought Islamic militancy, lifted millions out of poverty, and deftly kept both India and China at her side. But what went wrong this time? The answer: jobs, economy, typical expansionist China loan syndrome, and a tilt towards India. In a complicated geopolitical landscape, global eyes are fixed on an unfolding drama in Dhaka. Bangladesh's economy is already undergoing a tough time, and the quota reform movement became Hasina's blunder. Even as companies look to Bangladesh as an alternative to China, young Bangladeshis often despair at the lack of decent jobs amid global economic volatility. About 650,000 graduates are among the more than 2 million young people entering the job market each year in Bangladesh, and rising unemployment among youth, looming brain drain, have illustrated the severity of a job crisis in the world's 7th most populous nation. Once a shining star in the subcontinent, crisis of legitimacy and crackdowns have pushed the nation on razor's edge.
This is my 4th consecutive time, so I feel that I have a big responsibility for my people. And I'm really lucky that I have good friendship with China. China is always with us, so thank you very much. Always will support us.
Bangladesh lags behind comparable countries with regard to skills of its human resources, hurting its global competitiveness. Hasina, who is unabashedly India's best friend in the neighborhood, was blamed by many critics for her lackluster visit to China. Hasina went to China with a jumbo delegation of 196 members. However, the Bangladesh PM had to return home early from the trip. It is also to be noted that Beijing has competed with New Delhi for years to become Dhaka's top trading partner, and the Indo-Pacific region has become the hotbed for geopolitical influence of both China and India.
Our foreign policy is very clear. Friendship to all, malice to none. If there is any problem, it is between China and India. But I don't want to put my nose to that. I want development of my country. And that's because India is our just next door neighbor. We have very good relationship.
The India-China-Pakistan triangle is one of the most volatile and dangerous strategic formations. The 3 Chinese-run ports in South Asia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan are called a triangle of death encircling India. However, now, several political analysts believe that Hasina's excessive devotion to India is behind China's unwillingness to cooperate with Bangladesh on the loan program. China's foreign policy at the moment is defined by expansive territorial claims by hook or by crook. As Dhaka is trying to keep India and China in good humor, to many Bangladeshis, a line has now been crossed with monstrous job crisis and fragile economy, and anger seems unlikely to diminish soon. Amid this crisis, Bangladesh Prime Minister has raised questions over the possible role of the US in fueling the student protests in the country. The first time she has made a direct reference to Washington amid the ongoing unrest in the country. As per various reports, Hasina told the senior media representatives that she had anticipated such a situation, apparently a reference to growing Western pressure over Bangladesh's security forces' action against some of the violent protesters. Also, important to note that the opposition party BNP is widely viewed as a proxy for US interests in Bangladesh. What happens next is the big question, because at this point, any mass protest is impossible for her to stomach.